We're now going to talk about equivalent fractions. So equivalent fractions have the same value even though they look different. The word equivalent means equal to or the same as. We know that equivalent fractions are the same because when we multiply or divide the numerator and denominator by the same number, the fraction keeps its value. Okay. What does all of this mean? Well, to help us understand, let's look at this example involving pizza here. Let's say that you order for yourself a whole pizza and you want to eat half of that pizza. Well, what you could do is you could take the pizza and you could cut it into two pieces. One piece, two piece, one piece, two piece. If you want to eat half of the pizza, what you're going to do is literally eat one of those pieces. So as you can see, 1 on 2 represents what we've got here. Now, what if instead of cutting it into 2 pieces, you instead cut it into 4 pieces? If you still want to eat half of the pizza, how many slices are you now going to have to eat? Well, you're going to have to eat 1 slice, 2 slices. So if you eat 2 of the slices, you've still eaten half of the pizza. So 2 out of the 4 is the same as 1 out of the 2. So this is what it means to be equivalent. What if you instead cut it into 8 pieces? So as you can see here, we've cut it into 8 pieces. How many pieces now would you have to eat in order to eat half the pizza? Well, now you'd have to eat 1, 2, 3, 4 of those pieces. So 4 out of 8 is the same as 2 on 4 is the same as 1 on 2. All of these are equivalent fractions. They're all communicating the same value. The fraction keeps its value. It's all half. So what have we done here? Well, hopefully you can see like 1 to 2. How have I gone to 1 to 2 and to 2 to 4? Hopefully you can see I've just times it by 2. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. How have I gone to 2 on 4 to 4 on 8? Again, I've multiplied my numerator by 2. 2 times 2 is 4. And I've multiplied my denominator by 2 as well. And if I do that, 4 times 2 is 8 as well. But we could keep on going. Like we could come over here and we could times it by something else. We could times it by what should we times it by? Let's times it by 5. Let's see what happens when we times it by 5. So what is 4 times 5? It's 20. What is 8 times 5? 8 times 5 is 40. Is this still communicating half? It is. 20 out of 40. Well, 20 is half of 40. So it's still got the same value. So this brings us to a very key idea, and it's what's written here. And that's we get an equivalent fraction when we multiply or divide the numerator and the denominator by the same value. So whenever you do that, you get an equivalent fraction. And it's really, really important that whatever you do to the top, you do to the bottom. So do you see here how I times this by 2 and I times this by 2? I kept it the same. Over here, I times this by 5 and I've times this by 5. I've kept it the same. So this is the most important thing I will tell you in this lesson, and that is whatever you do to the numerator, you must also do to the denominator. So if you're going to times the numerator by 2, you must times the denominator by 2. If you times the numerator by 5, you must times the denominator by 5. Whatever you do to the top, you must do the exact same thing to the bottom. So that is an introduction to what equivalent fractions are. We're now going to jump into a few examples.